So, in the last class, we have already discussed about the journal entries. But today, I'll try to explain you how does a journal entries will be constructed. Also, the logic behind it, what all configurations has to be given. An important part is for any business, either if they're into manufacturing, selling, or anything. At the end of the day, they have to have the list of the products, right? Products or services. So, how do you configure the list of the products, whatever you are having? In our example, let's say you're dealing with any sports products, electronic products, anything it may be. So you'll have to configure the variants or different sizes or anything, right? So for such, we'll have to, this is a separate module called,
Are you sharing your screen?
yeah, can you see my screen?
Not yet. Yes. I can see.
So we'll not be looking into in-depth about the product information management, but whatever the required details that are needed for creating the purchase order or a sales order and how to link the main accounts, all those details we'll be discussing. So this is being done in product information management. And under this product information management module, we'll be looking into three details. One is products. Here in the products, let's say for example, you have any one unique product with no variants or nothing. So for such related products, you will be configuring those details with no variants. Let's say for example, anything. Let's say for example, one laptop is here. For that particular brand, you do not have any variants. It is only unique single laptop from from any particular brand or iPhone anything. Let's say for example there is something called as a variants. If there is any other laptop with different variants like RAM, space, memory, or anything it may be, SSD, HDD for our size uh, or brand name. If there are any variants for such products, you will have to uh, configure in the product master variants, and one more is released products. So initially, you have acquired you have purchased these products from the vendor, and you just kept in your warehouse. They are lying in your warehouse. Also, whenever there is a products in the warehouse, you will have to release them, right? Release them in the sense, for example, you have got 100 laptops. Among those 100 laptops, you will be having your own internal checks will be there. You will be checking, doing the quality check whether it is damaged, all those things. And all. Slowly, as and when you receive an clearance from the clearance team, you will be releasing those products for the either selling or to keep in your showrooms or anything as such. For that products, for such, if you want to if you want to start using those products, we'll have to release them. So transactions can be done for such products. Let's say, for example, for doing any transactions, we have to release those products. Yeah. So once you release these products, that is where you will start using them. For example, you can start taking a sales order or anything, right? For that reason, we'll have to release those products. So if you're clear with this product master, release product. See, don't get confused. Uh, anyway, in depth we'll not be discussing. Just understand what you mean by products, product master, and released products. That's all. And the path for this is product information management. Is it under products? You'll have all these things: all products and masters, products masters, variants, categories, released products, anything. Yeah. So this is the path. So you understood, right? So in simple, we anyways will be configuring new products, and then we'll explain like what are the mandatory fields that you have to focus on this while creating the new product. So are you clear with this product information? Like what is products, product master, and released products?
Yes.
And next important is like we'll have to, yes, you have given the products, you have just configured the products, but what is the main logic? You have to give the main accounts, right? Like for example, you have to give the main account for that one. For any products, whatever you're dealing in your business, right? For that purpose, you'll have to give them main accounts, like which account has to be debited, which account has to be credited whenever you receive goods, or whenever you dispatch the goods to your customer or anything. So for that one, you'll have to, again here we'll be discussing two topics. In the and these configuration happens in inventory management. One is item groups. So here in item groups, we'll be linking main accounts in the products. This is important, right? You have just configured the products, but what is the use? Like when it doesn't help you to post any transactions. In order to post any of these transactions, you have to link the main accounts. And the next one is item model groups. You have to define in what way the inventory is being moved in your warehouse. Since we'll be having a different ways, right? Like FIFO, LIFO, or stand in the moving average. You might have heard. In depth, we'll not be discussing, but as a sample, FIFO is nothing but, I mean, most of the companies will be for used either FIFO or LIFO, depending. For example, assume that we are following the FIFO method. So here in the item model tools, we'll have to configure inventory management, inventory flow, or let's say, example, FIFO is nothing but the first in, first out. So let's say, for example, on daily basis, you are receiving 100 goods. By the month end, you will be having some 300 goods, right? So by assuming that 30 days you'll be having a month. So if you're receiving 300 goods, on what basis? Which product has to be released, or which product has to be used for doing transactions? Either the first product which you received on the first week or first day, or the last week. If you are receiving So if you want to follow FIFO method, that means what, for example, if you are giving serial numbers to each and every product, then we will be having the 300 quantity, right? So every quantity will be having a unique, that is 1 to 300. So we will start using the last in first out. That means not from 300 to 100. So if you are following a LIFO, last in first out, that means whenever you receive the products, uh, today you will be selling the products like today's products immediately, and then you will go for the LIFO. LIFO means there are two ways, whether you want to go for the LIFO, FIFO, and there are still a few other ways. So assuming that we are following the FIFO method, we'll have to configure even this one also, right? And the path for this one is inventory management under setup. We have an inventory. Again here we have item groups and item model groups. So first, theoretically, are you clear with this? What is the use of configuring this product information management, everything? Hello.
Yeah, clear.
Bro.
So product information management law, products, product master, released products will be doing, and in inventory management, item groups and item model groups. Now let's quickly go back and we'll create an in the item groups. Sorry, yes. Let me show you for example. So this is a legal entity which I have already created. If you want to can, for example, we'll go to item groups. So let's say you see I have already created one model group here. Let's say for example, you are having a lot of such products, like not only IT products, for example clothes, sports products. Also we'll create one more. Let's say for example apparels.
So we need to configure each and every product here, or is just
Not the product, no, let me explain it. First we'll have to create item groups.
okay, like sports, clothing, and all like that.
See for example, if you're giving different main accounts, for if you want to know, if you want to give several different main accounts for category wise, then you'll have to create the group wise. How do you want to maintain your transactions? How do you want to see the balance of group particular products details, or see depending on the requirement. If you want to club all products in a single group, you can do that. If you do not want to club, then you will have to give these accounts separately. So once you give the item groups, then again you have to click on the, for example, if you go to the related items, See, for example, for Reliance IT products, I have already given the main accounts for purchase order. Same main accounts will be picked for even other accounts also. But if you want to change, you can give that one. For example, if you want to give any different main account, you can give it here. Also, in the item groups, let me explain you the importance, like what all main accounts will have to give here. Okay. So before linking the main accounts, let me just quickly enter the journal entries for. So whenever you receive an GRN, right? What is a journal entry? Inventory received. Since you are not invoicing those, so you'll have to uninvoiced account data 2. You'll have to show them in a liability. So for that, you'll be showing these inventory in accrued purchases. What is the next journal entry? Once you receive an invoice, in general, whenever you receive any products, right, you will be paying those. You have received, and for example, you will be receiving invoice copy along with the products. So once you receive an invoice, you'll have to do the payment, right? That means the liability has to be shown in your books of accounts. Inventory received, invoiced, account to accounts payable. Are you clear with this invoice entry and GRN? Hello.
Yeah, clear.
Yes,
Hello.
bro.
Then what about the balances of this particular these two accounts? So will it remain same?
Mm. Which one?
See,
Like,
inventory
yeah,
received uninvoiced. See, for example, you have received the products, right? Whenever you receive a products, you will have to pay them. So here it is very clear that you are paying the amount. For example,
so it will be accounts payable to bank.
this is correct. Wait. Uh, So as I mentioned, you whenever you receive a goods, right? See here you have received the goods for that, and the two since it is not invoiced, you are creating a separate main account that is called inventory received uninvoiced account data, and you are showing it as a liability, uh, as an accrued purchases account data separately. And once you receive an invoice, you're creating a separate one more journal entry that is inventory received invoiced account, and you are directly showing in accounts payable account. So this is clear. Then what about the balances of these two particular entries? See, in your books of accounts, for every debit there should be credit. Also, you have to close it off, right? See, even here also there is an increase in the assets. Even here also there is an increase in the assets. But you're receiving
సో,
assets only for.
ఈ అక్యూర్డ్ పర్చేస్‌ని క్రెడిట్‌లో ఉంది డెబిట్ జేసి,
Hmm.
ఇన్వాయిస్‌ని ఆహ్, అది డెబిట్ జేసి ఇన్వాయిస్ క్రెడిట్ బెట్టుకుంటే అయిపోతుంది గదా! ఇది రివర్సల్ జేసుకున్నా అయిపోతుంది. లేదంటే ఇన్వాయిస్ రిసీవ్డ్‌కి క్రెడిట్ జేసుకొని డెబిట్, పేయబుల్ బెట్టుకోవచ్చు.
అలా అలా కాదు. మీకు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక ఎంట్రీ చెప్తా. పర్చేజ్డ్ గూడ్స్ లెట్స్ సే ఆఫ్ 100 quantity for 1000 rupees. So whenever you receive a goods, right, your asset account is increased to 100 quantity. Am I correct? సో ఇక్కడ నీ ఫిజికల్ ఇన్వెంటరీ, నువ్వు గూడ్స్ రిసీవ్ చేసుకున్న వెంటనే నీ వేర్ హౌస్లో ఒక 100 క్వాంటిటీ వచ్చినట్టుగా రాసుకున్నావా? అంటే నీ ఆర్డర్ హిస్టరీ కానీ నీ అవైలబుల్ స్టాక్ చూస్తే 100 క్వాంటిటీ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయినట్టుగా నువ్వు రాసుకున్నావు అన్ఇన్వాయిస్డ్. తర్వాత ఇన్వాయిస్ వచ్చినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ కూడా నువ్వు 100 క్వాంటిటీ వచ్చినట్టుగా రాసుకుంటున్నావు. అప్పుడు 200 క్వాంటిటీ అయిపోతుంది కదా. సో అప్పుడు నువ్వు ఏం చేయాలి? ఈ ఎంట్రీని రివర్స్ చేయాలి కదా.
అవును, రివర్స్ చేస్తాము. ఆ ఎంట్రీ రివర్స్ చేసి
అదే నేను అంటుంది, ఏం చేస్తా, వాట్ ఇస్ ద నెక్స్ట్ ఎంట్రీ? యూ హ్యావ్ టు రివర్స్
నెక్స్ట్
దిస్ ఎంట్రీ. ఎందుకంటే అక్రూడ్ పర్చేస్ ఆల్సో లయబిలిటీ, అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్ ఆల్సో లయబిలిటీ. నువ్వు ఒకటే వెండర్కి 2 టైమ్స్ లయబిలిటీ ఉన్నట్టుగా చూపిస్తుంది కదా.
అవును, రివర్స్ అయితే చేయాలా? కానీ అది రివర్స్ చేసిన అక్యూట్ పర్చేస్ అకౌంట్ డేటా టు డైరెక్ట్ ఇన్వెంటరీ రిసీవ్డ్ ఇన్వాయిస్ కి క్రెడిట్ చేసుకుంటే అయిపోతుంది కదా.
బట్ అప్పుడు అన్ఇన్వాయిస్డ్ ఈ 100 క్వాంటిటీ ఎక్కడ పోతుంది? అది అలాగే ఉంటుందా పెండింగ్? వాట్ ఈస్ ద క్వాంటిటీ? 100 క్వాంటిటీ కదా. నీ వేర్ హౌస్లో 100 ఉండాలి కదా. నీ వేర్ హౌస్లో 100 ఉంది, ఇక్కడ ఎంట్రీస్ ప్రకారం చూస్తే 200 ఉంది కదా.
కానీ ఇంకోటి, ఇప్పుడు ఇన్వాయిస్ ప్రాసెస్ చేస్తాం కదా. ఇన్వాయిస్ ప్రాసెస్ చేసిన తర్వాత జిఆర్ఎన్ అనేది మనం జేవీ చేసే అవసరం లేదు కదా. అదొక జస్ట్ ఒక ఆప్షన్ టైప్ జిఆర్ఎన్ అయ్యిందా లేదా ఎస్ నో అని పెట్టుకుంటే సరిపోతుంది కదా. మళ్ళీ దానికి జేవీ వేసే అవసరం ఏముంది?
Hmm.
ఎందుకంటే ఎస్ఏపిలో ఇంతకుముందు మేము ఇన్వాయిస్ ప్రాసెస్ చేసేటప్పుడు మేము జేవీ ఏం వేసేవాళ్ళం కాదు. అక్కడ జస్ట్ ఆప్షన్
బ్యాక్
వచ్చేది.
ఎండ్ ఎంట్రీస్ అని పోస్ట్ పడిపోతాయి. ఎందుకో
ఓకే.
చెప్తా చూడు, సింపుల్ లాజిక్ ఇక్కడ చూడు. గూడ్స్ రిసీవ్ చేసుకున్నావు. సో వెన్ ఎవర్ యూ రిసీవ్ ఏ గూడ్స్, you are receiving 100 quantity, physical quantity. For example, you have received 100 laptops, and you have stored in those 100 laptops in your warehouse. Also in your books of accounts, you have entered under this main account that you have received 100 quantity. Also, since you are supposed to pay, you are showing this as a liability. It is a liability, right? But you are not paying it to the you are not showing the books of, not showing in your accounts payable liability. You're just showing this in a temporary clearance, or we'll call it as a temporary account. That is accrued purchases. So once you receive an invoice, so vendor has sent an invoice that is with the 100 quantity. So again, even this is also an asset only. So even here also this is an asset only, right? This is the actual entry. So inventory received, invoiced, 100 quantity, account data to accounts payable. So whenever, even this is also an invoice, and even this also asset and liability. Even here also this is an asset and liability. For same 100 quantity, you cannot have it two different entries, right? So for that purpose, we'll have to reverse this one. Accrued purchase account data, this is being nullified. See, and inventory received and missed. So now this entry is invalid. So this is a main entry. So in general, whenever you receive the products, right? So this will be the entry, right? Inventory received, invoiced, account data to accounts payable. Is this a general common entry that you are going to post whenever you receive any products?
Yes.
Yeah, but behind this, these two entries will be formed. You will have to construct, even these two entries will be posted in your books of accounts, because uh, you will be not receiving the GRN and invoice at the same time. For that reason, these two entries will be posted. So now we'll. Are you clear with this one, Sankarshan?
బ్రో అర్థమైంది. నా వాయిస్ వస్తుందా అప్పటి నుంచి మాట్లాడతాను?
ఆ, వస్తుంది. ఇక్కడ ఎంట్రీ క్లియర్గా
ఓకే.
అర్థమైందా? GRN అంటే ఎందుకు, ఇన్వాయిస్ ఎందుకు?
బ్రో
ఓకే, ఇది ఒకసారి.
అర్థమైంది.
Okay, so since we have already discussed, like we are clear with the how to pass the journal entries, but behind this we'll have to configure this main accounts, right? As I mentioned, if let's say for example, if you're dealing with IT products, sports, apparel, so depending on the requirement, you have already given the main accounts. For example, let me just. Anyways, these payments will not be giving it here. That is, we have to give this in a vendor posting profile, the summary account, which we have already given. So let's not look into that one. So in order to post these journal entries, we'll have to link these main accounts, right? So what is it? For example, see, these are the list of the accounts that we'll be using. That is cost of purchased. See, account type is different and main account is different. Account type, for example, this cost of purchased materials received. So you have to give the separate. See, these are the default posting types. Account type. You see here. In system, it is showing as a cost of purchasing materials received. But in your books of in your main accounts, you'll have to create a separate main account, right, for this particular cost of purchasing materials received. So this is something related to. See, we have already created the one main account. For example, that is inventory received uninvoiced. So when this account type is being used whenever you receive an GRN, right? So inventory received uninvoiced account. We will be creating this main account, which is already we have created. Just for your reference, I'm giving the number as well, so that you will not get confused.
ఈ నంబర్స్ బై డిఫాల్టా లేకపోతే మనం క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవాలా?
నేను ఆల్రెడీ క్రియేట్ చేశాను, అందుకు ఇస్తున్నాను అంతే. సో మనం ఏదైనా ఇసుకోవచ్చు, మన ఇష్టం. మెయిన్ అకౌంట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసి చూపిస్తుంది సపరేట్గా. And what is the next one? Purchase expenditure uninvoiced. So if you incur any purchase expenditure whenever you receive a goods for any reason, for that purpose we'll have to, even though it is not showing in any of these journal entries, let's say if you have incurred, then you will have to post even that entry as well, right? So for that purpose we'll be giving this as an account here. So let's say for example we'll create the same account here. What is the account we have created? Same, purchase expenditure uninvoiced. And this is whenever you receive a product, right? So for example, once you receive an invoice, you'll have to show that. For example, if you haven't, I mean, once you receive an invoice, you will have to reverse this one. So for that purpose, we'll be creating a separate main account. So for the timing, you ignore these expenditure accounts since we are not going to use anymore. I mean, once we discuss anything that is about expenses, then you can use it. We have covered purchase expenditure for expense because these are mandatory accounts which you have to give expense. Then we'll give for the product one. And this is most important, right? Purchase accrual.
పర్చేస్ అక్రూవల్ అంటే
అక్రూడ్ పర్చేసెస్ మనం టెంపరీ లయబిలిటీ క్రియేట్ అవుట్ చేసాం కదా.
ఓకే. నీ స్క్రీన్ కట్ అయితా ఉంది.
అవునా, ఇప్పుడు క్లారిటీ ఉందా?
బ్లర్‌గా ఉంది మొత్తం.
ఓకే.
బ్లర్ ఏం లేదు. ఓకే ఉంది స్క్రీన్. మంచిగానే వస్తుంది.
అంటే ఫోన్‌లో ఇంకా ల్యాప్‌టాప్‌లో లాగిన్ చేస్తే మంచిగొస్తుంది స్క్రీన్.
ఓకే. సో
ఇప్పుడు
పర్చేస్
బావుంది.
అక్రూవల్ ఇక్కడ క్రియేట్ చేసాం కదా. అక్రూడ్ పర్చేస్ టెంపరీ లయబిలిటీ అకౌంట్. సో దీనికి కూడా
హ్మ్.
మనం సెపరేట్ మెయిన్ అకౌంట్ ఇవ్వాలి కదా. అది ఇక్కడ క్రియేట్ చేసాం అక్రూడ్ పర్చేసెస్ అని. బట్ ఇవన్నీ డిఫాల్ట్ ఉన్నాయి. ఇది అంటే ఇక్కడ ఈ అకౌంట్ టైప్స్ నాకు అది సిస్టమ్ ఇచ్చింది. ఈ అకౌంట్ టైప్స్ కింద మీ ఎలాంటి మెయిన్ యూ కెన్ క్రియేట్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద మెయిన్ అకౌంట్స్ యూ వాంట్ అండ్ యూ కెన్ గివ్ ద నేమ్స్ విచ్ ఎవర్ ద అకౌంటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ దట్ యు ఆర్ ఫాలోయింగ్. See, for few of them, instead of accrued purchases, they will give it as a finished goods or anything. But for our understanding purpose, let us give it as an accrued purchases here. Or if you are receiving any raw materials, you can give a raw materials inventory received or anything. Now, what is the next one? This is important, right? Cost of purchased materials invoiced. So the moment you receive an invoice, you'll have to post the entry. So inventory received invoiced. And the next one is prepayment. Whenever you have a prepayment, right? So you'll have to, since it is an asset for us, we'll have to create an asset account for that. Purchase prepayment. I hope we have covered almost all the accounts. Wait, quickly check. Purchase expenditure for expense. Yes. Purchase expenditure for product. Purchase expenditure uninvoiced. Yes. Purchase accrual. Prepayment. Yes. Cost of purchased materials invoiced. Yes, even this one also we have covered. Cost of purchased materials received. This one I have to. It is already there. So for the timing, you can focus only on these three main accounts. Since you only these three main accounts we have seen, right, while posting the journal entry. This accounts payable anyways that is there in your this one vendor posting profile. We have given the summary account, right? Do you remember in vendor posting profile? Yeah. So we have as per the requirement we have already given the main accounts which we have already created. So now let's click on the related products. So are you clear with this one? The posting account type, main account. Why did we give separate main accounts? Hello.
Srinivas.
Okay. So you can create such many such item groups for apparel, sports, IT products, or if you have any other food product, anything you can add over there. And here, once you click on the posting, let's say for example, again under the posting we have for sales order, purchase order, inventory. Uh, for example, if you go to the purchase order, here you can see whatever the main account that we have linked. So by default, the same it will be shown here, item code, main account, everything. Let's say for example, as I mentioned, if you want to give a different main account here itself, see these main accounts we are using for all the products, whatever the products that Interlens is dealing for all these products we are receiving, assuming that we have only one warehouse, we do not want to show it in a different main accounts. We are using the same main accounts. Let's say for example, if you want to create a separate main accounts for each and every apparel, sports, quantity, IT products, then you can create a different main accounts by giving a
స్క్రీన్ ఆపావా శ్రీనివాస్?
లేదు.
ఒక్క నిమిషం, నేను మళ్ళీ జాయిన్ అవుతాను, కట్ అయింది అది.
అంటే టూ డివైసెస్ లో జాయిన్ అవ్వు. So if you want to create a separate main account for group wise, then you can do that. So in that case, under the purchase order, for each and every the posting type is there, right? Here you can see item relation category. Anyways, these you can ignore. If you click on the item code drop down, you can see here, right? Do you remember these fields? Even in vendor posting profile also, it will ask you if you have a different main account for separate group or for any each individual vendor, or if you want to give the same summary account. Assume that even this is also summary account only for this particular cost of purchase and materials received, right? That means whenever you receive a product, whenever you are receiving any products, right? For those products, if you want to give the main account. So let's say for all products, you're giving the same main account. So what is the main account that you have given? Inventory received uninvoiced. Whenever you receive a goods, since it is an unvoiced, you are giving this main account. And what is the next one? Purchase expenditure uninvoiced. Even here also, can you see? So just now we have configured, right, these accounts. All those accounts will be shown here. Purchase materials invoiced. See, inventory received invoiced. purchase expenditure for the product. See, whatever you have given right here, same accounts are being shown here in the posting type. Like for sales order, if you want to give, this anyways will be configuring while discussing the sales order related. But now you can focus on purchase order related. See, for purchase accrual also we have given this stock variance, all these things. Whenever you get any such scenarios, you can discuss, you can explore on those accounts as well. But for the time being, whatever the transaction that we are dealing for prepayment also we have given. So even that main account is being shown here. Now click on save. Now you should know, yes, you have just given the Reliance Apparel, Sports, IT, but you also should know like what all products are being added over here, right? So for that, if you want to know what all products you have added, click on the related items. See, we didn't give any products here. So for that purpose, we'll have to create those products. Also, we'll have to link those products here. We have to give the item model groups. Yeah. So are you clear with these item groups? Hello.
Yeah.
In simple, even this also you can call it as a posting profiles only, right? So whenever you are linking any products with the main accounts, what is the impact everything? Then in simple, we can call it as a posting profiles. In any module, wherever you're linking the main accounts, then you can call it as a posting profiles. Okay. So what is the next one? Inventory management, right? You should also, as we discussed, we have to do item model groups. Item model groups is nothing but the inventory flow methods like FIFO, LIFO. So, for example, assuming that you are following an inventory model group as a FIFO for all the products. For Reliance IT products, we have already created. For apparel also, we'll give, for example. So you have to give the item model group. Since you're having a different models, right, and the different groups, right? So you can give separate model groups. Under costing method and cost recognition, we'll be focusing on these fields. For example, if you're dealing with any inventory like physical products, then you have to check this option. If you're dealing with any of the services, then you'll have to uncheck this option. Assuming that since we will be having different types of physical inventory, right? So we'll be checking this option as a stock product. And the moment you select this stock product, these two ledger integration fields will be highlighted, and also these will be enabled. Post. So when yes, it is asking you two queries. When do you want to post journal entry? One is whenever you receive a physical inventory, right? Whenever you receive a physical inventory is nothing but post physical inventory is nothing but the GRN, and post financial inventory is nothing but the invoice. So you want two entries to be posted, right? One is when you receive an GRN, and one more is when you receive an invoice. You need two entries as per the entries we have discussed here. This entry it is speaking about. When do you want to post this GRN and invoice? These two entries. So whenever you receive an invoice, what all account has to be debited? What all see these two account. That's the reason we have already given the ledger integration. Also recognition, and also you have to post an accrued liability, right? This accrued purchases. Do you remember? We have discussed while creating this one journal while. So even it is asking the recognition of cost. Like when do you want to recognize? For example, you have received the products in your warehouse. Immediately you have to show it as a liability, right? So it is asking the same thing. Accrue liability on product receipt. So whenever you receive a product, the entry has to be posted. So these are the control, you're giving the instructions to the system backend. When do you want to post journal entries? For example, if you uncheck this option, then you will not be able to see the in journal entry while whenever you receive a GRN. So for that reason, you will have to enable this option. Stocked product, physical post physical inventory, post financial inventory as well, also accrue liability. So these three are mandatory, right? Because these three only, if you see in the even journal entries also, it is being reflected here. Yeah, and these fields are not mandatory. Most of the fields, if you want, you can update all those fields here based on the requirement. So now let me give one more item model group. That is, what are the groups that we have created? IT products, apparel, and one more is sports product, right? Reliance Sports. Same. I have just selected the inventory policy as stocked, ledger integration, all these things. Let me give the default values. Now click on save. Yeah. So as per the requirement, you have configured item model groups, item groups. Okay, I was about to show you the related options over there. Just quickly show you. For example, item model groups. Yeah, even here also you can see under related items, you can see the list of the products that you have already configured. You have listed, linked for these particular products. So these are the basic requirements. Now you have started a business. You have three groups you are dealing with. I mean, three business units you have. One is for apparel, IT products, sports. These are the products you have decided to start, doing the business. Now we will have to create the products, right? You have given all the main accounts, everything. Then what is the process to create a main account? Sorry, products. You have to go to the product information management. See here, we have all products and product masters, product and released products. So for example, since we are using the trial version, uh, Microsoft has already created a lot of such products. If you click on all products and masters, these are the products which are already created. Assume that you have already created these products, and since these products you have received in your inventory, but you have not released, they are just lying in your invoice, in your inventory. And if you want to, for example, if you want to release any of this product, okay, before releasing, we'll try to create a new product. Again, I'm showing the navigation, that is under product information management. Either you can go for the all products and product masters to create a new product, or you can directly go to the released products to create a new product. So let me quickly show do the task recording here. Okay. So if you want to create a new product, as I mentioned, now click on new. Okay, wait, let me again click on new. So here you will have to select the either it is an item or service. Item. let's say for example, product number, you can give it as a unique number. To make it easy, I'm just giving a cricket bat as a 100, model number is 100. And give the search name also as a MR bat itself. Yeah. So ensure that whenever you're creating a new product, item model group, item group, storage dimension group, tracking dimension groups, purchase price, sales price, inventory price, and unit of measures. These are mandatory. So unless you don't give these values or you don't fill these values, these fields, you'll not be able to post any journal entries anywhere it may be. We have just created item model group, right? What is item model group that we have created for BAT? BAT will fall under sports products, right? So we'll give you the Reliance sports products. And what is a group? Item model group, you remember the inventory flow. And item group is nothing but the main accounts, right? Yeah, this one. And the storage dimension is nothing but uh, see see these dimensions are nothing but, for example, in your
స్క్రీన్
warehouse.
బ్లర్ అవుతుంది.
What about others?
యా బ్లర్ అవుతుంది.
Okay, let me just quickly stop my screen sharing and will reshare. How about now? Is it good? Are you able to see my screen?
యా
Okay. So mandatory fields that you will have to focus is, while creating a new product, item model group, item group, storage dimension, tracking dimension. See, this storage dimension and tracking dimension will help you while picking the product. For example, if you have a warehouse, you have to put the product in the warehouse. So you have to give the storage dimension as a tracking dimension as a item model group, item group, storage dimension, tracking dimension. And for any reason, tracking dimensions and storage dimensions, we'll select from the list. See, tracking dimension is nothing but like how do you want to identify, whether through batch, serial number. There are a lot of ways are said. If you see it, how do you want to track this particular product, like serial number or any
శ్రీనివాస్ మధ్య మధ్యలో కట్ అయిపోతుంది. నువ్వు గ్రూప్ దగ్గర ఉన్నావు, ఐటమ్ గ్రూప్ నుంచి మళ్ళీ డైరెక్ట్ హలో
uh, anyways we have to do. And the inventory unit, how do you want to sell this product, or how do you want to enter the quantity of measure?
నీ వాయిస్ మొత్తం కట్ అయింది.
శ్రీనివాస్ ఐటమ్ గ్రూప్
Ippudu?
దగ్గర నుంచి నీ వాయిస్ రాలేదు.
స్క్రీన్ లో ఫుల్ చాలా బ్లర్ అవుతుంది.
Okay, ఇప్పుడు
ఏం లేదా, ఆడేం కనిపించలేదు.
అంతే ఉంది.
ఇప్పుడు కనబడుతుంది స్క్రీన్.
బ్లర్రే ఉంది.
కొంచెం ఓకే.
టూ డివైజెస్లోనూ అట్లే ఉందా?
మొబైల్‌లో చాలా క్లియర్ ఉంది.
మరి ఎక్కడ క్లియర్ ఉంటే అక్కడ చూసుకోండి అంతే.
సరే 2 డివైస్‌లు లాగిన్ చేయమంటున్నావా?
నేను అదే కదా చెప్పింది ఫస్ట్ డే నుంచి. ఒక్కసారి ల్యాప్టాప్ బ్యాండ్విడ్త్ ఎక్కువ ఉన్న, నెట్వర్క్ స్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు ల్యాప్టాప్లో క్లియర్గా కనబడదు నీకు. మొబైల్ బ్యాండ్విడ్త్ స్లో చిన్నది కదా అందుకు.
సరే ఆ స్టోరేజ్ డైమెన్షన్ దగ్గర నుంచి మళ్ళీ చెప్పు.
The storage dimension and tracking dimension is nothing but, for example, if you have a different warehouses, right? Let's say you have 10 warehouses. So if you want to identify from which warehouse you are picking this product, you can create any such warehouses. For example, I have created a separate warehouse called Reliance. Or let's say, for example, if you want to create a new warehouse, you can give that one. Click on view details. See here, you can see. You can create a new warehouse. I have already created one warehouse, and you can select these options.
మళ్ళా బ్లర్ అయింది.
2 డివైజెస్లో లాగిన్ అయ్యావా?
దీంట్లో కూడా అంతే బ్లరే కనిపిస్తుంది.
సరే, ఇది జస్ట్ వేరోస్ and then configuration ఏం లేదు. Just so you have to select the storage dimension, and one more is tracking dimension. As I mentioned, how do you want to track this particular cricket bat? You want to track it through physical bat, serial number, anything depending on the requirement, you can select one. And how do you want to measure this particular product? See, we have got lot of such unit of measures. Each is here. Let me give same as a PA for everything. That means each. If you're dealing with any other liquid or quantity, then you can select C. This temperature, sizes, box. There are a lot of things are there. And item sales tax group will not deal into. We'll discuss once we have a sales configuration. And the purchase price. Let's say, for example, if you're receiving this bat at 1,000 rupees, and with the margin of 500 rupees, you are selling this product as a for 1,500. Inventory price, let's give you same as a 1,000 rupees. Now click on OK. So as I mentioned, you'll have to focus on product type, product subtype. These details you have to give. Item model group, item group. These are mandatory fields. And the inventory unit, the unit of measures, and the prices. Now click on OK. So as per the requirement, like you have given all the mandatory fields which are required, right? Now what is the next step? You have to authorize this vendor, this particular product. Right? See, again under the product, you have to give the dimension groups under the setup. As I mentioned, we have just given, right, while creating itself, storage dimension, tracking dimension, that will be shown here. Yeah. Under purchase, yeah, you have created this particular product in your warehouse, that you have received this product from the vendor or anyone. Then you have to approve the vendors. For example, you just created the product, uh, and you want to set up. For example, you might be dealing with some hundreds of vendors in your warehouse. If you want to ensure that your warehouse management, they are receiving the products only from this particular vendor, uh, you have to give the vendor name also. For example, I want to receive this product only from the HP. Or you can create a new vendor, assuming that you are receiving these products only from the HP. Then you can give In your warehouse, let's say for example, if say any other vendor is sending the products without your knowledge, and whenever they try and create a purchase order or receive a GRN, it will not they will not be authorized to receive products from any other vendor apart from the HP. So I have to give this the list of the vendors. See, can you see here approved vendors list? Now click on OK, close. So these are the mandatory fields which you'll have to focus, that I have given the setup as a vendor. Yeah. Now click on save, close, save. Yeah. Now I can see whether it is showing in my products or not, released products. Can you see here cricket bat? It is in my released products list. So this is how you have to create a product. Are you clear this one? How to create a new product? If you create, five to multiple products, then you will understand. Also, I haven't shown you how to release the products. Like, for example, if you want to create a new product, let me just okay, let it download here. So assume that uh, you have some hundreds of products in your warehouse and you want to release any such products, right? So if you want to release any such products,
రిలీజ్ అంటే డిలీట్ చేయడమా?
release. Assume that you
అంటే
have some 100 products in your warehouse, 100 laptops. If if you want to sell this product to any of your customer, you have to initial stage will be it will be stored in your warehouse. If you want to do any transactions, you have to release them for doing the transactions. So for that reason, you will have to go to the all products and masters. Wait, let me just click on. Yeah. So if you want to release any products that which are lying in your warehouse, you have to go to product information management. Again, under the products, click on all products. Now click on, sorry, not new. You can see that these are the products which are there in your warehouse. But if you want to do any transactions, then you select this particular product. In the action pan, you can see release products. Click on this one. See, it will show you the product which you already created. Click on next and select the legal entity. Let's say you have a lot of legal entities and you wanted to release only for one particular legal entity, that is Reliance. Select that one. I'm selecting two legal entities. You can select multiple or single. See, it is asking the list of the products, everything. Click on finish. Now the product has been released. You're ready to do the transactions. Remember, whenever you want to do transactions, it has to be under released products only. Yeah. So these are the topics which I wanted to discuss today. So you can create multiple products. Also, you can create a release, item, model groups, everything.